Good Friday morning. One Ball State Day was on Wednesday. Find out how much we raised.
Easter weekend is here. See what some people are decorating instead of eggs.
Plus, after the weather, we have a recap about what happened around the country. Get the coffee ready and open up those eyes. You're waking up with Cardinal weather.
From Ball State Unified Media, you're waking up with Cardinal weather, live from the Ball State Weather Center.
Good Friday morning to you. You're waking up with Cardinal weather. I'm Olivia Sloniker.
And I'm Madeline Kerr.
One Ball State Day was earlier this week. It's one of the university's biggest fundraising days. Students took part through challenges, games, and even got plenty of free merch. The university was able to raise over $1.1 million from gifts and donors.
On Monday, Ball State students got a chance to get under the bright lights in Schumann Stadium as the intramural spring flag football season started. This is intramural flag football's first season since the pandemic. 7 teams competed on Monday and have 1 week left of the regular season before playoff time. You can head to Schumann to watch the Monday and Wednesday leagues at 7 p.m.
3 Delaware County school robotics teams are on their way to the big stage. Newsling Indiana's Anna Chalker sat down with Selma's team to see how they're gearing up for the world competition.
Go, 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 go.
An activity like no other.
Shoot it and then run into them.
That requires skills learned inside and out of the classroom.
Not only are they working on those problem solving, critical thinking, math and science standards, but they're also getting all of those real life experiences.
This 4-student team and their robot are on the way to the Robotic World Championship, a first for Selma Elementary School.
This is actually the first year we've ever had a team qualify for state. So Worlds was even more of a shock for us to learn that we received that invitation once we attended state.
But that invitation didn't come until the day after the state championship, as the team had to advocate for their scores after a robot malfunction.
After we found out the rewards and our name didn't get called, we were like, there's probably no way that we would make it, but then we did.
For Coach Jenna Eastham, team communication is key.
And then try to shoot.
Just having that confidence and that ability to learn something enough that they feel like they can stand up and speak up when they need to is an amazing skill at a 4th and 5th grade level.
And there's more that holds this robot together than the bolts and gears. It's the lifelong skills the Selma Brave Bots are learning. In Selma, Anna Chalker, Newsling, Indiana.
Joining the Selma Brave Bots is a team from Royalton Elementary and Delta Middle School. They were competing against teams from 40 different countries in Dallas, May 2nd through the 4th.
A new pilot program for inmates started at the Delaware County Justice and Rehabilitation Center. The first class of inmates have graduated from the grant-funded program IRACS, which stands for Integrated Reentry and Correctional Support. This group of men and women learn skills like how to deal with sobriety and be a productive member of society for when they get released. Newsling Indiana's Tara Konieczny went inside earlier this week to talk to some of the men who completed the program.
Delaware County putting rehabilitation back into the Justice Center.
Recovery skills, relapse prevention, recovery planning.
Inmates are enrolled in a 4-month class as a goal to help reduce recidivism to keep them out of the system for good once they are released. Both men and women have the option to take part in the program and have coaches that were formerly incarcerated.
If somebody gets out and they've been a long-time addict and a long-time user, they don't have food, they don't have stable housing, they don't have things like that. They resort back to what they know. And when that happens, people come back to jail. So if we can intercede and provide these resources to people, it's going to stop people from coming back.
10 men graduated 2 weeks ago from the class, and the first class of women are set to graduate next week. The men said they had valuable skills to take with them once they get out of jail.
Be the chemical imbalance that people, the drugs and everything everybody uses, how it messes up the chemical balance in your system. It makes you depressed and you want to make it and use more.
And the flaws that I would have never picked up without this class.
It helped me realize a lot of stuff that I didn't really know and that I was looking over.
Delaware County is one of the 5 pilot programs in the state to try IRACS. Eventually, they hope IRACS goes all over and even beyond Indiana.
I think sometimes we get clouded to doing things the way we do because we've always done them that way. But through this program, through IRACS, the men and women that we're working with are seeing a different way, and then it doesn't have to be the way it always was.
Coaches for IRACs tell me these individuals have come a long way since the beginning, and even some are going to be mentors for the next class.
Really proud of the guys and all the work that they put in, not just into the program, but into themselves.
Talking to the coaches and jail staff, everyone says there's been a success and well received among inmates. Here they plan to start more in other jails, but that will be announced soon. When inmates get released, IRACS does not cut ties with them. Instead, a mentor stays with them for 24 to 48 hours after being released and stays in contact with the individual for up to 30 days.
Officials in Indiana have toured the Sullivan area after a deadly weather ravaged multiple states over the weekend and into this week. Indiana Department of Homeland Security Executive Director Joel Thatcher wrote in a Facebook post that damage assessments are ongoing. 5 counties have been added to the state's disaster declaration request. Now that brought the total to 7 Indiana counties asking for help. As always, we are keeping those who've been impacted by the storm in our thoughts, and we will continue to keep you updated.
Well, we definitely saw those storms in Indiana last week, but hopefully we aren't going to be seeing too much severe weather here as this week goes through. But looking at these current temperatures, we've got 36 degrees here in Muncie, 37 degrees in Indianapolis, generally throughout the 30s in most of the area. We do see a couple 40s down here to our south, so a little bit on the cooler side, and that cooler side is going to continue as we move throughout the day. Also, what's going to continue? Some partly cloudy skies, definitely some moving clouds as we look at the current radar, and those are going to be sticking around some high level clouds as we move throughout the day. But the big story for this week are those increasing temperatures. We can see here on this 5-day temperature trend that we are really seeing a pretty big increase as we move throughout the week. Today's high 58 degrees, but as we move all the way into the middle of the week, we start to see those 70s return back into our area. Might even be seeing some 80s as we move throughout this week. But for my full forecast, I'll be talking about the lovely holiday weekend that we have above us, and a very sunny Easter Sunday with that as well. And then those increasing temperatures and what's causing them. All that and more in my full forecast.
Thank you, Oliver. Just ahead, we take a look at what the weather is looking like nationally. Plus, we have a special sports segment. Stay tuned.
That's after your weather now. Welcome back. Check out this chopper video showing this massive sinkhole in Texas that has been growing in the small town of Dezetta, which is west of Beaumont. The sinkhole has been dormant but started swallowing up a number of storage tanks and even a vacant building this week. Multiple agencies, including the EAP, are working to determine why the sinkhole is growing again and if any hazardous materials were inside of those storage tanks. People living in the small town say they are praying while waiting and watching for the results from the EPA. You may remember when the Dezetta sinkhole first made national headlines when it opened in 2008. It grew nearly 900 feet wide and 250 feet deep.
Missouri committees are facing a long road to recovery after a deadly tornado-spawning storm system leveled homes. At least 5 people were killed when a possible tornado struck Ballinger County in the dark overnight hours on Wednesday. Brianna Harris reports.
From going to being a homeowner to having nothing, having to start over. It's a lot to comprehend.
For the past 3 years, Alicia Skaggs and her family have lived in this home. But now Skaggs is left to pick up the pieces after the tornado destroyed what she called home.
My home is not salvageable. We have a total loss. We've lost our camper, which is something that we do over the summer. We have a permanent camping spot. We lost our camper. Lost a lot of things.
Neighbors Kim Sear and her daughter Sierra, who witnessed and survived the tornado, said it was a scary moment.
It sounded like a freight train. There's stuff breaking everywhere. I was scared for everybody else.
I've lived here since 1997 and tornadoes never come through here, and I never thought our house would ever get hit, our neighbors would ever get hit.
Skaggs says even in the midst of the storm, there's a few things she's thankful for.
That we're still alive, that me, my boyfriend, and our kids are safe. Yeah, we may not have a roof over our head at the moment, but we're safe and we're alive.
The path tore a path of destruction across several communities in the county. It reduced homes to piles of wood, scraping the roofs off buildings, splintering trees, and littering roads with debris.
The weather has been up and down this past week. In Canada, an ice storm that happened on Wednesday brought down trees and power lines in Quebec and knocked out electrical service for more than 1 million households. As of yesterday morning, just over 1.1 million customers still don't have power after freezing rain swept through the Canadian province. Almost half those customers were in Montreal. Officials said that yesterday, roughly a third of those without power following the storm should have electricity back within 24 hours. According to officials, more than 1,000 Hydro-Quebec employees are out in force across the province making repairs. It's definitely been some crazy weather across the country this week. I know here in Indiana, we saw a lot of those severe storms. I know Wednesday was crazy for us.
Absolutely. I remember running to and from my car after classes. It was not fun going to class in that weather.
Not at all. And we did that live weather coverage on Tuesday night?
Yep.
Tuesday night that I know you were a part of. So can you tell us a little bit about what's going on around the country for the rest of this week?
Yeah, well, if you're up towards the Canadian border, it's definitely cooling down quite a bit, seeing kind of the repercussions of that Canadian cool coming down. But believe it or not, it is actually going to be warming up quite a bit as we head into the rest of the week nationally. Unfortunately, with current temperatures, it won't exactly look like that across the country right now. As you can see over here in Muncie, we're looking at 36 degrees right now, cooling down as we head towards the west, 34 in Kansas City, 28 in Minneapolis. But that does not tell the full picture of what we are looking at nationally right now, because we have a lot of storms moving in towards the southern U.S. Here down in the south, you can see this movement of thunderstorms coming across, moving towards the Georgia, South Carolina area right now. So if you're watching the Masters, you might be seeing the consequences of that live. And additionally, up towards the west, you can see we have snow and some storms moving out on the west coast. And you should expect over the next few hours it to warm up quite a bit. Again, if you are up towards the Canadian border, you are experiencing the consequences of those storms. 48 up in Minneapolis here, but warming down quite a bit. 55 in Cincinnati. Down in Atlanta, we are looking at 78 right now. It is cooling, heating up quite a bit. And as we head into tomorrow, we will be warming up still in most of the country, but down towards the East Coast and the southern U.S. Again, 49 in Atlanta as those storm systems kind of leave the area as we head into the rest of the weekend. Now, as we head into the national outlook for the next couple of days, those storm systems should continue to hover around the southern U.S. Saturday at 7 in the morning, you can see those storms are still down here, dominating the south, coming up as we get those warm winds coming in to the rest of the continental U.S. And as for the severe outlook, we can see that the National Weather Service and the SPC has forecasted that we do have a decent chance of some severe weather over the next couple of days, intensifying a little bit down here towards Louisiana, Baton Rouge. So be careful if you're heading towards the U.S. right now too. And as the Masters we're looking at right now, 78 degrees for the rest of the day. And Friday, we head into the next couple of days. Those Masters, wettest in history for a long time. But fortunately for us, it is not raining here in the studio because we will have a very special Cardinal Weather Service broadcast. Tossing to Sam, we'll have a lot to do right now.
Thanks, Ian. I'm Sam Morris, and I got the entire Cardinal Weather crew here with us. We're going to figure out who has the best short game. and on to the Masters starting yesterday and continuing throughout the weekend. So I'm gonna go ahead and start us off.
You start it off?
Yeah.
All right. You got your practice shots in?
I have. I've gotten a few in before. Maybe not that one.
Just misses it. Just misses it.
It's too much. Just a little too much.
All right, he gets a second shot here.
He lines up the putt.
Got to do the commentary.
Yeah, you got to do the commentary. Is this mic on?
Ooh, and he misses
0
again.
for 2.
All right, so next up we got Maddie Kerr, our anchor and senior Cardinal weather producer.
I've been getting my shots in today. I've been getting my practice shots. Let's see how this goes.
Maddie Kerr lining up the ball down the court, going for the small hole. Ooh! Just misses the small hole.
The issue I had earlier this morning when I was, getting my practice shots in is I was overshooting it. I was going a little too heavy-handed. Let's see. Ooh. Same issue. I know. A little too much force. Gotta work on my putt.
All right, next up we got Olivia Slonaker, our other anchor.
I did, yeah. I was working on my stance. You gotta get situated, All right. Okay.
Slonaker lines up the shot.
All those times at Boulder Falls, but
Ooh.
pay off.
Not enough.
Not
enough on the
quite
putt.
frankly. Here she goes. Oh!
Almost got it in. Too much speed.
Seem like our golfers have a little bit too much power in their swings today.
Little bit too much power in their swings.
All right. Next up we got
of
Oliver,
course.
our assistant chief weather forecaster. He's got to button up his jacket.
Thanks to my roommate Jack Van Meter. Oh, my mic's on. Thanks to my roommate Jack Van Meter, I've got this lovely little glove. And we should also thank him for this lovely little putting course. But Moster lines up the shot. He's looking down the range, making sure that he's looking good. He swings. Ooh, so close. A little bit much on that backswing. Golf's not an enthusiastic sport. It's a very mellow one. He's lining it up on this little road-looking thing. He swings. Oh! Will nobody get a ball in the hole today? My lucky glove didn't even work. What can you do? Who's up?
All right, next we got John, our morning sports producer. John, have you got your card?
I have, and I feel a lot of confidence right now. Nobody's hit one yet, and I feel like I could hit 2 in a row.
Dude, 2 in a row from John. We'll see how well that goes for him, but lines up the shot.
Ooh,
He's got one,
that's
the
one.
First of the
Quiet
morning.
Quiet golf clap.
It's one more. See if he can go 2 for 2.
Ooh.
Didn't even make it. Didn't even make it.
Who's close? Let's settle down.
Who's up next?
No more?
No?
You sure?
Terry? Do we want Terry to do it?
All right.
Yeah, Ian.
Oh, hey, that's okay.
Ian, weather for Ian, did you get your practice swings in today?
Oh, I don't need practice. Watch this.
Oh, he doesn't need practice. Oh, okay.
Lines up the shot. Maybe looking a little hot.
Ooh.
Oh, just
back.
misses the hole.
Get one. Yeah, one more if you want one more.
Yeah, you got
one
2.
more.
You guys are going easy. I only need 1. I was just messing with you guys.
Ah.
All right. Swing and a miss. I don't know. I think if Ian just kind of went out there and just did it, I think I'll have a pretty good chance of winning.
Do we have time for a couple more shoots, or is it we moving on? Oh, okay. All right. I'm
You want
pretty
one more?
confident.
All right, go ahead.
If you give me 3rd. I'm pretty confident if you give me a 3rd, I can make this work. I've been getting my practice in. I knew this, the second I took the swing, I knew I overshot. I knew. All right. So, who's our winner?
I guess John. John, because he was the only one that made a putt. Congratulations, John.
He's not assistant.
All right, well, thank you guys very much for the special sports segment. After the break, we're going to take a look at our weather for the rest of the week.
And that is after your weather now.
Welcome back. You're taking a live look outside at the Cooper Science Building today. It's been a little chilly, some colder weather, but no rain, luckily. No tornadoes, no severe weather, so I'll take it.
Awesome, that's great. The number of RSV infections are returning to normal levels. Rates dipped during the COVID-19 pandemic due to school closures and maskings. Now that's according to the CDC and Prevention Report. RSV symptoms are often like a common cold with a runny nose, coughing, sneezing, and fever. Children under 5 and seniors are most susceptible to severe cases. Now before COVID, RSV often followed a seasonal pattern. The first year after the pandemic, rates were very low. The 2021-2022 season started early and ended later than usual. This past season has been more typical, but higher levels of infection. The CDC cautions that off-season infections may continue.
Spring is in full swing and summer is a little over 2 months away. With warmer weather comes more time spent enjoying the outdoors. But before you start perfecting your cannonball into the pool, make sure to throw on some sunscreen. I know I need it. Ivan Rodriguez has more on what to look for and how to keep yourself safe.
Some words of warning and advice from actor Hugh Jackman this week.
I've just had 2 biopsies done. I just went to my doctor and she just saw little things, could be or could not be basal cell. And trust me, trust me, trust me. This is all stuff that happened 25 years ago. It's coming out now.
Jackman has been treated several times before for skin cancer. Thankfully, his results have come back negative this time, but the warning remains. According to the Skin Cancer Foundation, 1 in 5 Americans will develop skin cancer by the time they turn 70. And the 2 most common causes, exposure to the sun's UV rays and tanning beds. But how does the sun affect our skin? Dr. Sanjay Gupta explains.
The squamous cells and the basal cells, they lie there in that epidermis. That's what can be affected by sun. They can be mutated and they can turn into cancer. You also have another type of cell known as melanocytes. If they become mutated, that can turn into melanoma.
Besides wearing sunscreen with a high SPF, make sure to do routine checks of your body. If you notice something unusual, remember A, B, C, D, E.
A is that lesion or mole asymmetric? Borders, that's B, irregular in some way. Is the color changing? That's the C, and then diameter is D, is it growing in size? And E, evolving, meaning is it changing in some way?
Remember, protection from the sun doesn't mean zero fun. Take it from Wolverine.
Put some sunscreen on. You'll still have an incredible time out there. All right? Please be safe.
I'm Ivan Rodriguez reporting.
Really, really important information there, especially as we're preparing for summer. I know I need like a gallon of sunscreen every time I go outside.
Absolutely, and when I'm getting ready for band camp, I'm slapping it on every other hour.
All over your face, looking like a goat.
And I mean, the thing is, we haven't really needed that sunscreen for the past couple of weeks, but once we're getting into this week, I mean, it's going to be partly sunny and sunny on the way out. So, I mean, if we take a look over here at these current temperatures, I mean, not too hot right now, little still. 36 degrees here in Muncie, 37 in Indianapolis. A little bit warmer over here, seeing the 40s on the southern parts of the state, just below 30 there in Lafayette. And again, we are going to be warming up as we move throughout the day, but looking at the current radar, we do see this cloud coverage moving through our area, so we are definitely going to be seeing some partly cloudy conditions as we move throughout today. Now looking at timing out when we're going to be seeing temperatures, clouds, stuff like that. For today, 41 degrees around 9 a.m., so still a little bit chilly, but then we're warming up all the way to just below 60 degrees as we hit the mid-afternoon. And again, those clouds are going to be coming and going throughout the area as we move throughout today. Clouds are going to stick around a little bit as we move into tonight. Mostly clear skies, lows of around 34 degrees, winds calmly coming from the northeast. And that northeaster air is going to be bringing some colder temperatures through, but we are definitely going to be seeing a warm up, especially as we move into this holiday weekend. We can see here on Saturday, 62 degrees for the high, winds coming from the east at 5 to 10 miles per hour. And as we look at sunny Sunday, as a matter of fact, for your Easter Sunday, 65 degrees for the high. Again, those sunny conditions and some nice winds coming from the east at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Looking at the precision cast, again, nothing too much on our radar besides a couple of clouds. Thought we might have some shower chances on Monday, but we do not. But these warmer temperatures are caused by the jet stream. We can see here that we are seeing a couple of those cooler temperatures bringing this air down from the north, but we see over here, if we look towards Denver, that bump is going to be moving our way as we move through this week. And again, we can really see that in the 6 to 10 day temperature outlook, where here in the Midwest, throughout most of the Midwest, we are going to be seeing above average temperatures. Average for this time is in the lower 60s. We might even be seeing some 80s as we move through the middle of next week. And again, that warm up is definitely drastic. As we move through this 5-day temperature trend, we can really see these temperatures start to heat up until we reach our high here on Tuesday, 73 degrees. Again, average high around the low 60s. So definitely a lot warmer than what we normally do see. Maybe even going to be seeing some 80s again as we move into the later parts of next week. The last time we saw 80-degree temperatures here in Muncie was September 21st, and it was 94 degrees almost 200 days ago. It feels like such a long time since we've seen really any temperatures above those 80-degree marks, but I mean, quite the way to go out with a 94-degree day. Now, we hopefully shouldn't be seeing any 90-degree days as we move throughout this week, but again, those 80s are definitely possible as we move later into the week. Again, 62 for your Saturday, 65 for your Sunday. Heating up here as we move through Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 79 degrees for your high. A little bit windy and cloudy there on your Wednesday, but again, wouldn't be surprised if we do see some 80s as we move throughout this next week.
Thank you so much, Oliver. After the break, the Easter festivities have started. Check out what some people have done and will be doing.
That's after your weather now.
From the heart of Ball State to the heart of your community, NewsLink Indiana brings you local and state news.
Welcome back. Egg prices have stabilized from their January highs, but they're still not cheap. That's led some people on social media to try something interesting, planting potatoes for Easter. That trend hasn't been lost on potato producers. Marketing and Promotion Board Potatoes USA is pushing the idea. It's offering tips on how to get the best Easter spud. You can either use food coloring or regular paint. The group says potatoes are less fragile than eggs and easier for the kids to hold.
The animals at the Whipsnade Zoo in the UK woke up to an Easter surprise yesterday. Take a look. Call it an Easter egg hunt of the wild kind. The rhino foraged for treats in brightly painted Easter boxes. The lemurs went after papier-mâché eggs filled with their favorite sweet potato goodies, and Wolverine's Puff and Fee woke up to piñatas stuffed with meaty snacks. It seemed like they are already ready for this weekend.
The Muncie Animal Care and Services Shelter has a dog that's deeply in need of a forever. Meet Christo, the terrier mix. He has been at the shelter for 342 days. Before being found in Tuckey Park, he was living in another shelter outside of Muncie. Christo is 52 pounds, 2 years old, and has experienced almost his entire life in shelters. He is neutered, up to date on all of his vaccines, and housebroken. Christo is an extraordinary male dog that loves to play, run, and be loved on. Christo is already sponsored, meaning he is free and ready to find his forever home to pick him up.
He was over by Tui Park. He is microchipped already, and he was previously adopted from another facility. So he is neutered, microchipped, up to date on his vaccines, and ready to go.
For more information on Christo and how to adopt him, you can call Muncie Animal Care and Services or reach out to them through their Facebook page.
Now, Oliver, let's go ahead and take a final look at weather.
Well, again, we are going to be seeing that warm up as we move throughout the week, but a lovely weekend ahead of us in those 60s, maybe even ended up in the 80s as we finish off next week.
That's all for Cardinal Weather this Friday morning. Thank you for joining us.
We'll see you next Friday. Have a great rest of your day and a safe and fun weekend.